Hello, hello. Hello, how's that sound? That should be working. How do you say something real quick?
Hey, that sounds great.
Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. It is at 9:01 Eastern Standard Time on the 20th day of October, year of our Lord 2025. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It poured rain all weekend. It lightninged, it
Really?
thundered. Maybe you're going to get that soon. It was like 3 days of rain. It looks to be have slowed down a bit right now. The driveway is still trying to dry up here, but it is chilly. It is cold. It is fall. It is hunting season, as some would say. Huddy, did you do anything memorable this weekend?
I had dinner with my dad. That was good.
Very memorable.
Yeah, very memorable. I walked 30,000 steps one day. That hurt.
Where were you going?
It's around the city.
Did you have your Heelys on?
I wish.
You wish. Those were the best. You used to get in trouble if you had those on in school. And you
Yeah,
were
they didn't
rolling
like you doing
around.
it through the halls.
You had to pop the wheels out before you saw a teacher coming. Do the kids these days have Heelys? I don't know if they do. But if
I
not,
don't even
that's a
know what a kid
90s
these days
thing.
is.
But I hope you guys had a good weekend here as we approach the last two full trading weeks of October as we're kind of wrapping up. Oh my gosh. One of my screens just went black, so hoping that everything stays working here. All right. Let's just hop right into it. If you're new around here, we talk about the biggest gappers in small cap land. It looks like we got one of those today up over 100%. Looks like BYND gapped up pretty big. Congrats to a lot of people in the room on Friday afternoon, building into that one for a swing. It looks like almost 100% type of move from some of the entries I saw. So congrats there. But we'll talk about the biggest gapper. We'll go through a little bit about why it's up, if it fits into any recent themes, as well as go over Huddy will be our in-house specialist when it comes to any potential dilution. We'll talk about the daily chart, what we see there, if there's anything obvious that we're seeing that makes us want to take a trade on it. We'll answer a few questions. I already see some rolling in the chat right now, and then we'll get on out of here and head into our days. Good morning, Mark, Jabril, Jerry, Mash for Fun, Randy, Wayne, Chris, Emilio. Good morning, good morning. One person saying, what a time to be alive. Jabril is saying, just needs to buy the market at the close every day and sell in the morning. 123 Drummer Max says, daily patterns been pretty trash in small caps on the long side. I would agree. Huddy would disagree. Leave it at that. A lot of people, very mixed reviews out there on the market, which is kind of how I always try to approach it, because I think there always is more people struggling than you think and more people succeeding than you think. And you got to find your way to get from one side of the coin to the other by whatever means necessary. Couple questions about tickers. We'll get to those, Emilio, once we wrap up with the gappers. Do me a favor right now, hit that thumbs up button. I don't know why my left screen keeps going black, but it's scaring me. I'm just not going to move. Hit that thumbs up button, get that number into the 30s for us, and let's pop into it. Biggest gapper of the day is REPL. Okay, interesting dilution tracker here. It says dilution might not matter for this one. We have an 850 million market cap, a biotech company. It does look like it's a stock that trades like about 1 million shares a day. So it's not your run-of-the-mill small cap turd that is just doing nothing, waiting for some sort of pump or news to come about. I see that they announced FDA acceptance of BLA resubmission of RP1 for the treatment of advanced melanoma. And what do you see here? Do you also kind of agree that this is just not your typical small cap turd? Or maybe I'm not signed into dilution tracker, but...
It's I don't know if it's not a small cap turd. It's kind of like a biotech, right? So all of them are kind of weird in that sense because they're bringing products to market instead of like most of them don't even have a product. Um, so I don't know. That's this one. What they're signing up for FDA approval for whatever drug they need to get to market. I would still consider it a small cap. What's the float?
I don't have a float on here. 41 million is what I
That's
have on
big.
Benzinga.
That could be wrong.
What's right?
I'm just looking.
I got institutional ownership at 87% too.
Yeah. It's got a big market cap. It's got a big float. They've got some drug in the FDA review process. Like that's probably something I'm going to avoid to the short side. I'm not going to buy it either because I don't really know anything about biotech. But I wouldn't blindly go shorting like kind of a company at this size. I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit dangerous.
Take a look at the daily chart. Like I said, it's a stock that actually does have a market for it most days. It is top left to bottom right over the past year or so. But it is kind of in a more sideways range than a lot of the small cap turds we see. Kind of a range between $4 and $30 over the past 3 or 4 years. Been kind of sideways as of late, kind of bouncing off of the lows. Not near any short-term highs recently. The 2025 highs are up near 15. Something bad happened. Maybe it was this said I read resubmission, so maybe they kind of failed that. That's why I gapped down from 12 to the 2s. It's trying to figure itself out here, but it has traded pretty good volume down here near the lows, at least 1 to 5 million a day. I don't know. I look at this and I just kind of think there's more news-based fundamental stuff going on here. From the 12s down to the $2 and $3 area. It might stay in that range for a while. Volume is okay, but it's still no guarantee it's going to be more than the day that it kind of went from the 6s towards $8. Maybe that's a breakout for some of you, kind of a multi-week, multi-month level around $8. That's somewhere that I would probably draw a line just to see if it becomes important this morning or later in the morning or in the afternoon. But we are gapping up over that right now, up 100%. Let's take a look at the intraday. Really strong morning, kind of getting its footing, morning spike, and then making higher lows and new highs, and just consolidating up near the highs. But yeah, it is your biggest gapper by far. So sometimes I wonder if the small cap turd stuff, like we talk about from the perspective of it being a gap and crapper, I guess, but just in terms of just being a day one mover, it is your most volatile gapper of the day. So I do think sometimes people just kind of hop into anything that's moving. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts on the daily chart that would make you want to or not want to trade it, but I don't really see anything too special here for REPL.
What you see on the daily chart is kind of like what happens with biopharmaceuticals, where it's like they're trying to like bring their drug to market, so they maybe have a ramp up into like a buy the rumor sell the news situation, and the news comes out and it's either good or it's horrible. So then, in this case, in July something horrible happened, and then something good was happening again, and then something horrible happened, and now it feels like something good's happening again. So it's just like super unpredictable unless you understand biotech, right? Unless you understand the product that they're trying to deliver, and even then I think it's unpredictable. So I stay away from things that are unpredictable.
Yeah, not my favorite day one gapper we've ever seen. I could see it doing a whole lot of nothing, being quite choppy during the day as it digests this news. And I could also kind of see it crapping, but much bigger float. And the news sounds quite positive. It sounds more real than a lot of the news that we're generally looking at with small cap turds. But that is your biggest gapper of the day by far, REPL. Like I said, BYND was the next biggest gapper. I don't know why my left screen keeps going out, but it feels scaring me like it's going to go out for good one of these times, and I'm not going to be able to close the stream. But BYND is your other gapper, up 50%. Man, this one, what year was it that was running big or IPO'd? 2019. Do you remember that? Those are the days. We were just young children. 2019, I was 24 years old. That was the good times. Gotten beaten into the ground. Unfortunate for Kyle. But looks like some bad news has come out recently, and it's just headed lower and lower from the 2s down to the 50-cent area. Pretty big volume Friday afternoon. Almost 500 million shares traded, and a significant gap up. I'm seeing stuff in the room about some hype and Momo short squeeze type of thing on it. We'll see if we get to that stage. Wouldn't be against it though. I love when these turds kind of bounce off the lows and do like a multi-day move, kind of like Wolf. What was the other one recently? But we'll see there. I don't see anything here. I don't think you're shorting this. I don't think the gap is quite big enough for any interest on BYND, but a nice little momentum play. Cheapy, gapping up over the weekend. Let's see here. Heidi, I'm really nervous at any given moment. The stream's just going to end. You keep just blacking out one of my screens every couple seconds. So just be prepared.
All right.
Emilio says, are you guys looking for dips on UAMY? Looks like first green day attempt here on the sector, but does gap up ruin the move? That's not how I trade them. I don't think it's how Huddy trades them either. I think if he wanted them, he would have bought strength on Friday and then just risked wide. Where's the daily chart here? I think day one was kind of weird daily candles. Carmel, I think, was like a more green bodied candle that closed green, I think. And UAMY kind of never went green and ended up closing off of those. Definitely not a 1-to-1 ratio of when one moved and the other one moved with it. There was a little bit of nuance to each of their own. But UAMY is gapping up 15%. I'm probably going to avoid it. I don't just look to buy dips on things. I tend to want decent risk reward around ranges. And I would have had to gamble over the weekend and buy sometime in the afternoon, risking low day or maybe a little wider to maybe protect against a gap down and look for a slower, more developing bounce versus a typical reversal or something where you're buying it, getting a 30, 40, 50% move, then moving on. I think you might get an increased morning spike or something this morning, but already gapping up. So UAMY is too far gone for me. I don't know if Huddy is buying dips this morning on it.
I'm already long from Friday, so
he's not buying dips this morning. Emilio also asked, H-Graph, what are your thoughts after that dump but came back nicely?
No thoughts. It's just literally exactly still in its structure. It's just dipping and it's spiking. It's doing nothing.
Yeah, I got stopped out of my swing on that one Friday, real close to the low, dead low there. It did get a lot closer to the breakout level, the big breakout level of like 270. So definitely on watch a lot more closely now for the next breakout over like 243 for that potential move. It is kind of tricky right now with the range. I mean, that candle goes down to 180 and it got as high as like the 220. So if you're trying to like risk 5 cents to make 50, going to be tough here unless you get really good risk reward on the day of the breakout. So I'm not buying early, not buying in this range. I'll keep it on watch, maybe set an alert for if it's over like 230s, 240s for that breakout down the line. 123 General Max says, what's the pattern on BYND? Why would everyone trade it? There's a nice subset of traders in our room who kind of focus on, I don't know if there's a pattern name for it, but it's like buying in anticipation of gap ups for the next day, looking at volatile liquid stocks that have made big moves on any given day, following them into after hours and playing for a gap up. And there's no specific daily chart pattern for that. I mean, some of them are buying day 2, day 3, day 4 of, multi-day moves. And yeah, so there's not like some perfect daily chart for it. It's much more of a metric of criteria of volume versus percent up on the day versus VWAP. And a lot of the guys in our room are absolutely killing it with that. Robert says, is there any data on whether it's better to buy when the previous day is red and the next day gaps up? I'm risking the previous red close. Is it lower risk? Just not sure if there's a stat on it. Did you get that, Huddy?
I didn't understand the question.
Is there any data on whether it's better to buy when the previous day is red and the next day gaps up? That is too generic of information. You ask about data. If you're trying to implement data, you should probably start with much more specific criteria. I'm not the data guy. Huddy's ran a ton of data for me, so I'm sure he probably has a perspective on it. But you definitely need more of a reason. You have to, I think, ask the why. What are you looking for? It can't just be buying a green day that gaps up after a red day yesterday. Maybe it's as simple as that, Huddy. Is it as simple as that?
No. I mean, you'd have like 10 million examples of something that's completely random. But there is data on it to answer your question. Do I have the data on something random? No. It's not really a pattern. But maybe you can find something in it. You could run data on it if that's your question. Close below open, next day open up 5-10%, right? Like It's an easy thing to do, but you're just gonna have a bunch of random candles.
It seems like a tough thing to track. My brain goes to like how big is the gap up? How bad was the red day? Why am I looking at the stock in the first place? Why should I expect there to be momentum?
I mean, you're definitely right on the mark there. Like, if you want to build a pattern, like you're gonna have to have more of a sequence than red, green.
People talking about Gapper just popped up. RDHL only up 60% right now. Recent Gapper little 2-day run back in here from the ones to the high twos. Just popped up from the 150s, was up about 100% at a moment, having its pullback right now. Red Hill Biopharma, 3.2 million float. 12 minutes ago, they announced the addition of an established FDA-approved product to its commercial portfolio. So kind of piggybacking on the news from the other biggest gapper. So got FDA in the headline out of Israel. Do you have any quick thoughts on RDHL if it does end up holding up around 80 to 100% right before they open?
I would be interested in shorting it.
You like that one more?
Yeah, I think that's just like one that I've traded before. Like they had a really good run. I think they actually squeezed me quite bad last time they had a really good run. And but like since then the stock has gone to the gutter. They've done reverse split. It looks like they're dilutive in some way or another. So I just think that fits the more typical penny stock piece of crap could fade dynamic. But I don't think I'm going to trade it with where it's gapping right now.
All right. Jenica says, Dom, are you watching COOT for a bounce? I'm not. I think it does fit criteria for reversal. But let me see here. Was it at $2? Technically doesn't fit volume criteria from Friday. But I'm not doing any reversaling right now. Pretty much a discipline thing for me. This week, I don't care what the results are of them. I will not trade them. I can't follow rules with them. It's like the worse they are performance-wise, the more I get lackadaisical with my criteria. So I had a pretty rough week last week in terms of having no winners. So I'm going to try to take far less trades this week. And something like that could bounce. Acheem, one of the next questions about reversals with low dollar volume prior day, should fall right into that category for you. So I'll leave that one to him. But I'm taking a break on reversals for right now. Don't mind the stuff like UAMY or Caramel, your more traditional first green days that are trading big volume that fit into a sector and a theme. But kind of this low volume crap that wasn't really a run. It was more of just gappers that turn into gap and crappers all day. I haven't seen a ton of those bouncing back. Even the ones I have seen, like STI was not really that didn't fit that mold. It wasn't like a gap and crap failure. It actually had a 2-day run. But even that one was pretty illiquid on its bounce as well. But did work. You're going to trade them. Probably got to trade them all. Every single one of them. No, Rat. Those are not stupid questions. People are always on different learning curves and different stages in their journey. Feel free to ask any questions you guys have. Maybe Huddie. Huddie's usually the most rude one in terms of questions sometimes, but I try to calm him down and make sure that he's not too angry with the people. Sly Cosin says, Dom asking Huddie questions is like when you call on the kid not paying attention in class.
Don't call on me.
I try not to, but then I'm also like, who else am I supposed to call on? There's only two of us. Even if I have to catch him up on it, I'll catch him up on it.
Well, you guys understand, like the whole time that he's talking, I'm like arranging and rearranging my watch list. So what
a privilege you have, sir.
Yeah, well, you don't really need to do that, so it doesn't matter.
By the time I get to my computer, it's 9:31 and I'm behind already. All right, looks like that is all the questions for this morning. 9:20. Good turnout this morning. Over 140 of you right now. 37 likes. So we've got more likes on less people. Let's hit that thumbs up button on the way out. I believe tomorrow will be Huddie and Kyle. I'll make sure that Kyle can be here. I have another doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. and don't get mad at me and be like, oh, you don't care about your job. You're scheduling doctor's appointments during market hours, but one of those things where it's more important to get the doctor's appointments right now. And they keep putting them at 8:30 or 9 a.m. So I won't be here in the morning tomorrow. Huddie, remind me to talk to Kyle. Can you remind me?
Yeah, talk to Kyle.
We'll talk to Kyle, and should be live again tomorrow. We know we canceled a few times last week, so don't want to get that streak going. Appreciate all the questions today and the participation. Let's have a great week. Let's we'll put up one of our feet forward, left or right. Do our best today. Huddie's going to hit you with that quote right now to get you pumped up and ready to go for the week, and we'll get out of here.
You have a quote right in front of you.
What is it?
You have one.
I'll just have to hit refresh right here. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. You like that? All right, guys. Take that at face value. Use it today. Be the best version of yourself. God bless. Have a wonderful start to your week, and we will see you first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll see all you Clovers.